Crowdfunding is a process often done online where filmmakers ask the public for money towards their films in exchange for either credits or goodies such as t-shirts or copies of the film on DVD.
Stop Eject was never meant to be crowdfunded. The original plan was that it was going to be financed by a production company in Derby. So when that collapsed, I wasn't sure how to fund the movie or if I could fund it at all.
I'd successfully crowdfunded or helped to crowdfund a film called Jar of Angels, which I co-wrote and co-produced. But when I first did it, it was a relatively new process and it seemed like a wonderful get-rich-quick scheme in a way, because it was very, very successful when we smashed through the total and handed out a load of t-shirts and made a movie with the money that was given to us.
What we need now is for you to get involved, to sponsor this film, to help make it happen.
First of all, you have to figure out what rewards you can realistically give away. We did the initial campaign that offered rewards that we knew we already had that wouldn't cost us too much extra to produce, so things relating to Neil's old films or a scan of my artwork as well.
We set our target as £2,000. We didn't feel like we were going to be able to raise more than that amount. We chose to use a site that was all or nothing, meaning that if we didn't reach our target by the deadline, we wouldn't get any of the money. Having that knowledge does motivate sponsors. A lot of people contributed to the campaign right near the end, simply because they didn't want to see us fail and get none of the money.
The original Stop Eject funding campaign was done on the same site that I did the Jar of Angels one on, and I immediately noticed it wasn't as successful straight away. Originally, the first one I did, we had donations straight away on day one, and it can make you feel very comfortable and very reliant on crowdfunder when it goes well. We did have donations, but they came along at a very regular, very quiet pace. It'd be a £10 in here or there. There were times when people were worried that we wouldn't get it, and I had to definitely reassure Neil and keep everyone going and keep us motivated, because it didn't look good for a time.
Crowdfunding is incredibly hard work. You know, the amount of time and effort you have to put into it is astonishing, really. You get up every day and you're thinking, what can I do today to make people donate? And it's a roller coaster ride. On days when a couple of donations come in, you're over the moon, and then when a few days go by, maybe a week or two even, has happened to us sometimes, and no one's donated, you start to feel really down about it.
Myself and Neil tried various ways to promote the crowdfunding campaign and to get people interested in it, some of which were quite normal and some of which weren't.
We've got 2 days left to go on our crowdfunding campaign, and we've still got £500 to go. So the sad fact of the matter is, if we don't get all the money, the guinea pig gets it.
We did regular podcasts, tweeted a lot, emailing everyone in my address book. I talked about it at several real-world networking events. It's important not to neglect sort of real-world ways of promoting your campaign, not just sort of doing it all online. I posted rough designs for posters on the Facebook page and invited feedback, sort of engaging with the community. All that kind of stuff raises the profile of a campaign. You have to keep thinking, what have I got? What can I offer people that they might want in return, that might encourage them to donate? And I thought, well, I've made a low-budget feature film and had it distributed. That could be a set of knowledge that could be useful to people. Hello, it's March 27th, 2012. I'm here at the Quad in Derby, and in about an hour I'm going to be giving a talk about the making of my feature film Soul Searcher, and this is one of a few lectures I'm doing in aid of Stop Eject.
We've got a bucket, a funding bucket, which also lights up, so like, hang on. Also lights up. Neil went on the BBC Midlands Today and did an interview about crowdfunding and said that we needed help, and that was very successful, particularly when it was shown online on Facebook.
That led to lots of donations and really raised the profile of the campaign right through to the end.
ultimately it did work out and we did get our total and a little bit more, and I think that I learned just not to rely on it so much, and that it isn't as easy as it can be.
People will only donate usually if they have some sort of pre-existing connection to some aspect of the project. So either they know you, the filmmaker, or there's an actor in it they've heard of, or it's being shot in their hometown. So really we were reliant on people donating because they knew me. Action! Once the Stop Eject shoot was over, we embarked on a second crowdfunding campaign. The film's now in the can, but we need your help again to get us to the finish line. We need £1,500 to complete Stop Eject and get it to the widest possible audience. We now had a trailer, so there was something tangible people could see. They could see the quality of what we were making.
This will be the last one, I promise.
We took it away from the crowdfunding sites that everyone else was using and put it on our own website, and rather than promoting it as just another crowdfunding campaign as everyone else was doing, we saw it more as trying to get the audience and the public involved in post-production.
Hi, I thought I'd give you a little demonstration of how subtle changes to an edit can make a big difference to how the audience perceives a scene. There are also 15 public rewards which will be released online every time the total raised passes one of the £100 marks.
One thing that we did differently was the public rewards, which was something new every time we reached a certain amount, every £100 or so, such as the podcasts or special blogs that Neil did about the lighting. I did one about production design as well.
When someone did donate and that triggered the release of a public reward, that in turn generated more publicity, so it was a cycle because that then led to more donations.
When we first finished Stop Eject, there was obviously a lot of buzz around the film itself, and everyone was very, very excited, having just worked on it and keen to spread the word. So once we released the post-production funding campaign, it did very, very, very well, very quickly. It probably did better than we were ready for it to do, and it gave us a little bit of a sense of false hope, which is probably the one thing you can't have when you're trying to raise funds online. And since then, hit a bit of a quiet slog, inspiring us to create new ideas.
It's a project that we all care about so much, and that we put a lot into, and we really wouldn't get to see it finished if it weren't for you. So thank you, and keep giving us money, please.
A lot of people that contributed the second time around were fans of Georgina Sherrington. The people that put in larger amounts were either doing so purely philanthropically, or in some cases because they wanted a custom reward. So for example, there was a guy making his own short film and wanted me to be the director of photography on that in return for a large contribution. I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who sponsored the film. We are now fully funded. Between you wonderful, wonderful people have contributed almost £4,200.
I believe that crowdfunding has definitely served a purpose, and it's helped us out it definitely in getting our films made, but I don't think it's going to last. I think it's probably a fad, not because it's not a good idea, because it's a great idea, but because everybody's doing it, everyone's doing exactly the same thing and promoting it in the same way and just plaguing on Facebook, and rather than individuals speaking out with great ideas, it's become an overall noise. So people need to get creative to make their film stand out. Unless you have a real champion online talking about your particular crowdfunding site and telling people to go there, you're just going to be a whisperer in a room full of shouting people.
I do think that it's something worth doing because of the huge fringe benefits of being forced to promote yourself and your project and the cast and crew of your project day in, day out. It really, really raises people's awareness of what you're doing, and I think for that reason alone it's a fantastic thing to do.
My advice to anyone who considers crowdfunding is use it to raise some of the money for your film and then find other ways. I mean, old ways like bake sales or anything creative can work. You'd be surprised at things that work when you try for it. Just be creative, think outside the box, and don't rely fully on crowdfunding to fund your film.